Are you confused and frustrated because you have taken several MBTI personality tests and each time they are giving you a different type? It's either INFJ or ISFJ, and you are truly frustrated because you just like to gain more clarity to find out which of the personality type you are on your journey of self-discovery. So in this video, I'm going to go through some very slight, minute differences that can help you gain further clarity and finally find out which of the two types you are. If you are interested, stay tuned and give me a big thumbs up. So these two types often get mistyped because they are very similar. They are both feelers and they're both judges. So because of this, it's very easy to get mistyped unless you do a deep dive and you are very self-aware for you to be able to notice these differences. So in this video, we're going to explore 5 differences between ISFJ and INFJ to help you gain further clarity into which of the two personality types you are. The first one is problem solving. Both the ISFJ and INFJ approach problems in totally different ways. INFJs tend to approach a problem in a very abstract way, whilst the ISFJ is a lot more practical and fact-driven. INFJs are very quick to find a solution. Because INFJs understand people and their emotions and their motives, it makes it that much easier for the INFJ to come up with a solution, a creative solution that takes into account the feelings and needs of everybody that's involved. Plus, the INFJ are naturally creative and generally think outside of the box, whereas ISFJs, they like to take a step-by-step linear approach to find a practical solution to the problem. And because ISFJs are able to take a step-by-step approach, this allows them to break down the problem into smaller tasks, and this allows them to gain further understanding and clarity of the situation so that their solution is a lot more impactful. And due to their great organization skills, ISFJs come out with very solid solutions that are well thought out, well planned, well arranged, because they took their time to break everything down into smaller step-by-step chunks. The second difference I'd like you to consider is memory. How do you retain your memory? How do you remember things? If something happens, for example, let's say there was a car accident. So the INFJ will completely remember that, yes, last Thursday there was a car accident. Then the ISFJ, on the other hand, they'll be able to tell you the make of the cars that were involved in the accident, the colors of the car, what the drivers were wearing, what road it was on, who was coming from the left, who was coming from the right. They are able to retain a lot more detail, whereas the INFJ, we tend to just focus on the outline of the problem, like what happened. There was an accident. Obviously, 2 cars are involved in an accident or something. You know, we have not vague-ish information, but the ISFJ is able to hold on to the minute, tiny details. So if you are somebody that is able to retain information detail for detail, then you may be leaning more towards being ISFJ than INFJ. The third difference I'd like you to consider on your journey to self-discovery, ISFJ versus INFJ, is your communication style. Both the ISFJ and INFJ are very thoughtful in how they speak. They take into account the thoughts and the feelings of those around them. INFJs in particular, if they are explaining or describing something, we like to give examples. We like to give metaphors and analogies to further get our point across. We like to paint the picture to make sure that people understand what we're saying and where we're coming from. Whereas the ISFJs, they like to communicate with tangible facts based on what happened previously, what happened in the past, and they tend to get their points across in a more literal way. Also, another key difference between INFJ and ISFJ in how they communicate is that ISFJs, although they don't like small talk, but they are good at it and they are able to adapt to the person that they are speaking with, whereas the INFJ will just completely freeze up and would look anxious and will look awkward. The ISFJ is better able to cope in that situation because they will adapt and adjust to the environment and the person who they're talking to. So think about how you communicate with people. Do you like to give explanations and examples and you can manage small talk, or are you somebody that will just completely freeze at the thought of small talk? Your body is just like, nope, I can't. The fourth difference I like to consider is who is more introverted between ISFJ and INFJ. So think about, how do you cope? Let's say something happened, whether good or bad. How do you process that? Are you somebody that is quick to run into your head because you aren't able to stay in that present moment and face the situation as it's unfolding? Or do you need to immediately, regardless whether you're in public or you are in private, you immediately go straight into your head, into yourself, and process the situation or the event that's unfolding before you, so you are seeing it in third person because you have retrieved into your head and into yourself? It's INFJs that tend to do that. Immediately something happens, I run into my head and I process it. Do I like this? What is happening? What do I think? I plan out my responses and all that kind of thing, whereas ISFJs are able to actually stay in the present moment and watch the thing unfold as it's happening. Then later, when they get home, they'll then take their time to think about it. But in the present moment as it's happening, they are able to stay present. Are you somebody who is able to stay present in the moment when something is happening that you don't like, or that you like, or you're unsure about? So between those two, think about whether or not you are more introverted or you are able to stay present. My fifth difference that I'd like you to put under consideration is your vibe. So both the ISFJ and INFJ, we have a similar vibe. We are both calm, we are both relaxed, we are unproblematic, very reserved and kind, and we are both deeply interested in people. So think about how people describe you. Do people think that you are very easygoing, that you are easy to get along with, that you are down to earth, you're very practical, you are calm? Or do everybody just assumes that, oh my goodness, she's so quiet, you're so stuck up? So think about how people perceive you. What energy do you bring? Think about how people perceive you and the comments they tell you. Like for myself, most times when somebody meets me for the first time, they think I'm very stuck up. I'm very complex. And I'm like, if you get to know me, none of that is true. So because INFJs are very reserved, we can easily be perceived as being stuck up or something similar because we're not good at small talk. We're not good at small talk. So we generally tend to keep quiet. And in that quietness, people perceive that as feeling like you are better than others or something, which is totally untrue. The ISFJs are perceived to be a lot more down to earth, and ISFJs are able to participate and engage in small talk and light conversations. Even though they don't like it, they are able to do it more than the INFJ. So think about how people perceive you. Are you perceived as the stuck-up person, or are you perceived as the down-to-earth, kind, calm person? Those are just slight differences that you can use on your journey of self-discovery to further understand yourself and know which of the two personality types you are. If you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one as we continue our journey towards a more wholesome, healthier, and more meaningful lifestyle.